All right, in 2.6b, we are still solving inequalities, but this time we're looking at absolute value inequalities. So here's some basic rules you need to catch when you're dealing with absolute values and inequalities. Notice this, the absolute value of x is less than a. Okay, if it is less than, that means that all values between negative a and a will work for x. So this is the between type. So it looks like this. Negative a, so that x is between the negative value of a and positive value of a. That's what we're looking at if the inequality is negative. Now, if it's greater than, all values are less than negative a, or they're greater than positive a. All right, so if you follow this model with each problem, you're going to be good. All you got to do is remember these two things. Okay. So here we go. Let's try this. The absolute value of 6x is greater than 12. So I go back to my rule. What does the greater than rule say? I need to rewrite it without the absolute value bar. So I see 6x is less than negative a, which in this case is 12. So this is a. And then I write it as 6x is greater than the positive version of 12. Right? And then I solve them separately. So if I divide by 6, I get x is less than negative 2. Over here, if I divide by 6, I get x is greater than 2. So on my number line, just like before, you're going to draw number lines and label them. These are less thans and greater thans. They're not or equal to types, so they're open circles. And this one says x is less than negative 2, so you can see that they go in opposite directions. This one's greater than 2, so it comes over here. Okay? There's my solution. That's what happens with a greater than. So let's try a less than. So I take the absolute value out, and I put it between two inequalities, and I take that value of a and give it the negative and the positive. And then I work through it. So I want to get rid of the fraction, first of all. So I'm going to multiply through by 3. So I have negative 9 is less than x is less than 9. And I'm done. That's all I have to do. So graph it. I have negative 9, positive 9. These are not equal to, so I'm at open circles, and it's between, so I shade between them. And there's my solution. Let's try another one. It's a greater than, so notice that. So I'm going to take my absolute value out, and it's going to be less than the negative version, and x minus 10 is greater than the positive version. So I rewrite it both ways and solve them. So x, if I add 10 to both sides, it's going to be less than 8. Add 10 to both sides, x is greater than 12. So I draw my number line. Here's 8, here's 12. These are not or equal to, so I'm going to open circles. This says x is less than 8, and this is x is greater than 12. All right, trucking along. Look at this one. Here's another greater than. Okay, so we take our inequality, pick out what's in the absolute value, and we're going to make it less than the negative. Rewrite it over here and make it greater than the positive. Okay, get rid of the fraction by multiplying through by 3. So I'm going to have x plus 2 is less than negative 12. Subtract 12. X is less than negative 14. Same thing here. I'm going to multiply through by 3. So I'll have x plus 2 is greater than 12. Subtract 12. And I have x is greater than 10. So my number line, I'm going to have negative 14 and a positive 10. Open circles, because we're not equal to, we're just less than or greater. And this says x is less than negative 14, and this one is x is greater than 10. Okay? And there I have it. That's what I needed. One last example for you. First thing I would do is divide through by that 7. Okay? So I can leave it just as the absolute value of 2 minus 3x is less than 3. Now I can separate this out. It's a betweener because it's a less than right here. So I'm going to say negative 3 is less than 2 minus 3x is less than positive 3. Okay? And then I'm going to go through and solve it. So I'm going to subtract 2. So if negative 5 is less than negative 3x is less than 1. Divide through by negative 3. Now, just like before, when you divide by negative, you have to flip these signs around. So this is going to become a positive 5/3. This becomes a greater than. This is just x. This one becomes a greater than. And this is negative 1/3. Now, remember these are not pointing to the left. These are no longer number order. This is greater. 5/3 is greater than 1/3. So I'm going to flip it around, flipping my inequalities back, but rearranging my numbers. Okay? Now they are from least to greatest when I read it. Now I can put this on a number line and it makes some sense. Negative 1/3 and positive 5/3. Open circles, and x is between these two values, so I shade in between. And there's my solution. All right? Hope this makes some sense, and we'll talk more about this when we get to class.